Well, tonight we have a letter, a threat, and a deadline for JCPS. The U.S. Department of Education telling every school district in the country to cut diversity, equity, and inclusion programs by Friday or risk losing their federal funding. We went looking for how much is at stake for the state's largest school district and what the people who have a vote on it are saying. History class is now in session, and you'll find notes for this assignment right here on the JCPS website.
Our district has dedicated ourselves and admitted that historically we have mistreated, marginalized, and muted some of our students, particularly our black students. In turn, this policy calls for us to make sure that that changes.
The JCPS board passed its first racial equity policy in 2018, meant to address racial disparities and close achievement gaps.
Our policies do not promote one group over another. It's about removing barriers.
The efforts focused on curriculum and instruction, staffing, climate and culture, access to programs and operations in the central office.
That's what DEP is all about. Doing the right thing.
But diversity, equity, and poverty, as the office is called in JCPS, may be in jeopardy.
We will forge a society that is colorblind and merit-based.
President Trump's Department of Education sent this memo on Valentine's Day, giving school districts across the country 14 days to basically end their DEI programs or lose federal funding. That's at least $160 million in JCPS, spread out over 117 Title I schools, money for special education, and free and reduced lunch. Title I money gives districts extra resources for things like teachers and training to help historically underprivileged kids raise their state test scores. So what will they do? We reached out to all 7 board members with the deadline looming. 5 spoke with us Monday on camera.
I would vote today to maintain this office so that we can maintain the outcomes that we are delivering. And those outcomes today are better than they otherwise would be without this office.
I don't see any reason to, just because they write ridiculous, threatening things, that we should somehow interpret that as marching orders for us.
I think everybody should always ask themselves, how is this going to make things better? That's the question. And I don't see any way that this is going to make things better to create an equitable education for all students.
We're told there are no cuts planned as of now. The JCPS attorneys are reviewing the memo and consulting with other large school districts who likewise have a majority-minority student population. And while everyone voiced their support for efforts to improve outcomes, 2 board members were more tempered in whether DEP as an office should stand.
If we have to change the name in some way, I think we'll still be able to approach this from the angle that we need to, because poverty is our primary emphasis here.
At the end of the day, we're a government entity, and so we need to do the best that we can based on the laws that are brought down to us. And so if we have to change things due to a federal mandate, that's what we have to do. I don't think that changes our commitment to diversity, equity, and inclusion. I don't think it changes our commitment to helping the poor. We may just have to do it in a different way.
There is a board work session scheduled for tomorrow evening, and while that letter is not on the agenda, it is highly likely that the district's response will come up during it.